Good evening, everybody. Just make sure, okay, it is working. Um, Before we get started tonight, just wanted to show you the air alert map. Things are starting to clear up. But there was an interesting little time frame that happened last night. I didn't catch it until today, unfortunately. But I wanted to show you guys this before we get started. Well, it helps if I'm in my channel, not 3rd Assault Brigade. So, 10 p.m. Ukraine time last night. You know, I showed you half the country was under air alert. Well, the rest of that story. An hour later in Odessa, this was the scene. Parts of the city without power. You see blackouts in different sections throughout the city, some areas with power, some areas without. And then at about 11:30, this.
Да, ебать!
11:45. Or is that 10:45? 10:45. This is what it sounded like in Odessa. The air battle over Odessa that was happening last night. Yeah, you know how to tell when Lavrov is lying? His lips are moving. You know, this oh shoot, I did not forward that to my channel. There's actually a children's hospital in Odessa that got hit last night. I forgot to forward that to the channel. But let me get back to the start of the day for today's Telegram stuff. Then we'll hop back to where we normally are at. There's the drone update for today. And head into the operational information. As of 8 a.m. this morning of February 20th regarding the Russian invasion. As always, they start the report with glory to Ukraine. The 1093rd day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. Ukrainian defenders are steadfastly holding back the onslaught of the occupiers, inflicting significant losses on the enemy. In total, 122 combat clashes were recorded over the past 24 hours. According to updated information, yesterday the enemy launched one missile strike using 2 missiles on Ukrainian units and settlements, as well as 87 airstrikes, dropping 131 guided aerial bombs. In addition, Russia carried out 5,757 artillery strikes, with 140 of those being from MLRSs. Russia also used more than 3,000 kamikaze drones for destruction. The airstrikes were carried out on the following settlements yesterday: Pasivka, Mortrisk, Yastrubny, Bilovody, Urody in the Sumy region, Udi, Tronoglazivka, Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region, Konstantinivka, Mirnograd, Chasiv Yar, Nolo-Alexandrivka, Pokrovsk, Novodorivka in the Donetsk region, Guliopol, Kamiansky in the Zaporizhia region, and in the city of Kherson. Over the past 24 hours, the Defense Forces, units of aviation, missile forces, and artillery have struck 13 areas of personnel, weapons, and military equipment, 1 air defense system, 6 artillery systems, a command post, and 1 other important enemy facility. Moving into the Kharkiv direction, the enemy tried 5 times to break through the defense lines of our defenders in the Voschansk area and towards Zapyzhny. Moving on to the deep state map, Voschansk, we all pretty much know by now. Unfortunately, I am not entirely sure where Zapyzhny is. Just before I go and check, yeah, I thought so. Zapyzhny is over here on the western side of the Oskil River, right here north of Kupiansk. In the Kupiansk direction, 4 attacks by the invaders took place yesterday. Our defenders repelled enemy assaults near Petropavlivka, Stepova Novosilka, and Zarazova. Petropavlivka, Zarazova, and if I remember correctly, Stepova Novosilka. Kind of have to zoom in to get that name to come up right here. So 4 attacks in those areas. Coming to the south from Pokrovsk in the Liman direction, the enemy attacked 12 times. He tried to wedge our defenses into our defenses near Balka, Zoravka, Yampolivka, Kolodazny, Makivka, and in the direction of Hirohorivka. Coming just to the south, I have to try and find one of these towns. I'm not sure where it is. Of course, Makivka is there. Kolodazny. Balkozravka. Well, Hirohorivka is here. Kolodazny, Makivka, but the little Kolodazny, I have no idea where it is at. So let me give it a quick scan, really quick. Yeah, I'm not sure where that town is at. Oh, let's cheat. Go to Google Maps. Zoom way out and then way back in. And Balkazirovka. Copy. Paste. Just south of Makivka. So Novolubivka. That's odd. So it's listing on Google Maps, it shows it's this town here, but on Deep State Maps, it's not listed at all. So Novolubivka, Noversky, and this should be the town here, but it is not labeled on Deep State. So that'd explain why I wasn't able to find it. Moving over to the Service direction. The enemy attempted to advance in the Verkno-Kamiansky area. It doesn't say how many attacks, so I assume it's just one. But over here in Seversk, coming over from Liman, Verkno-Kamiansky is right here. Along this road to move into Seversk. That was the only area of attack in Seversk. Moving to the southwest over to Kramatorsk. The occupiers attacked 4 times in the areas of Chasiv and Vasyulivka. I want to copy there. Coming over to Slovansk, Kramatorsk, Chasiv and Vasyulivka is up here. Just want to talk about Slovansk really quick because it's been coming up in the news lately. I know that town a little more than most other people will. One of my students that I help practice English with, they lived in this town. They still have an apartment in this town. Unfortunately, they can't visit it. It's too close to the front. So, they pulled their personal belongings stuff out and they moved all the way over from Slovansk up to Kyiv. But yeah, their family home, the home their father grew up in, the home their grandparents lived in, the home they spent most of their childhood in, is in this city, and they can't go to it because it's under constant threat. But anyways, in the chat, in the Kramatorsk area, Chasiv Yar, Vasyulivka were the areas of attacks. Moving over to Toretsk direction, where the enemy carried out 13 attacks near the settlements of Ozernyrka, Toretsk, and Leondivka. The first one, I'm not sure where it is, but I'm sure we will find it. Of course, Toretsk, Leondivka. Olen Ozan Ozarianivka. Ozarianivka, sorry. They're right here. So Toretsk and Leonidivka. Those were the areas of attacks in Toretsk. You notice the map is not changing in the Toretsk direction. Pretty much staying pretty stable because information is changing by the minute in the city. Toretsk is one of the reasons that Russia does not want to do urban warfare in Pokrovsk and Mirnograd and is trying to encircle it. Of course, you see the blue areas in the Pokrovsk direction. Ukraine is gaining some ground. Unfortunately, there's bad news down by Constantinople. But we'll get back to that in shortly as we come over to the Pokrovsk direction, where our defenders stopped 32 assault actions near the settlements of Zeleny Pol, Vodany Druj, Elizavetivka, Novotoretski, Promin, Kotini, Nadivka, Andrivka, and Ukali. You notice the names have changed a little bit from the normal ones. Zeleny Pol, Vodany Druj, Yelizavetivka, Novotorsky, Toretsky, sorry. You don't really hear about Mirolubivka, Promin, Lisivka, Dashny, Novotrud, Prishtiani. No, you don't hear about another assault until you come over here towards Goltini, Udachny, Upensivka, Andrivka, and unfortunately Ukali. Russia has basically been able to close this pocket. Ukrainians were, for the most part, from what I've been hearing, able to withdraw safely and are trying to set up new defense lines. Again, this is all happening because of this town here. It was about this time last year that the U.S. stopped sending packages of supplies to Ukraine. It was during that time that Volodar's position weakened. This was the long-held front in this area for a long time, with Volodar as the anchor. Losing that town is why this is all happened. I was hoping that Ukraine would have been able to stop the advance. Here, they were setting up defense lines in these areas. They just were not able to get the supplies, the artillery shells really, that they needed. There's also another turning point in the war. When Ukrainians realized they can't count on Western support and started mass producing drones on their own. And here we are a year later. Russia's advance has moved, so far, 22 kilometers in a year. Not even 2 kilometers a month. 2 kilometers a month. Just want to let that sink in for a bit. Russia's 8 to 10 times larger than Ukraine, has all the resources basically of the world available to it. And Ukraine has held them to 22-kilometer advance in a year. That's just one direction. But, okay, let's look at it from this one. Along this highway, this is the line before the invasion. And it's gotten to here after 3 years. 34 kilometers. Still, not even a kilometer a month from the start of the full-scale invasion. And that's along a highway. There's railroad lines in here too. That's, Russia's strength is along railroad lines. And that's as far as they've gotten in 3 years. You really want to make them look bad? Here we go. Position at the start of the invasion. Position today. 3 kilometers, a kilometer a year. Obviously there's been other larger advances, other smaller ones, but 81 kilometers from Crimea to Dnipro River. Okay. Russia is supposed to be this big bad army, and I don't underestimate them, because they are doing immense amounts of damage to Ukraine, unfortunately. But a country that was so much of an underdog that everybody expected this to be over in hours. And here we are 3 years later. It says a lot to me about the Ukrainian fighting spirit. Okay, cheesy movie, but quoting a cheesy movie. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. One man defending his home is worth 10 knights. Kevin Costner quote, unfortunately. I think that's holding out to be true. Anyways, little sidetrack there. In the Novopavlivsky direction, the enemy carried out 17 attacks in the directions of Constantinople, Rozdolny, Novokumar, and Privlini over the past day. Novopavlivka Constantinople, Roznolny, Novokumar, and Privlini is here. One of those ones that don't pop up unless you zoom in far enough. Those were the attacks in the Novopavlivka direction. Moving over from Novopavlivska to the Orhiv direction, where occupation troops advanced 9 times on the positions of our defenders in the directions of Novoandrivka and in the areas of Mali Srbashki and Stepovoye. Ooh, that ending is really hard for me. Stepovoye. Okay. So, of course, no action in Huliopol. Coming over here to Orhiv, Novoandrivka, Mali Srbachki, Stepova. That makes it so much easier to say it that way. Of course, in the Huliopol and Dnipro directions, the enemy did not conduct any active offensive operations. No formations were detected in Volyn or Polizia directions, and Ukrainian defense forces continue the operation in Kursk, where the enemy carried out 36 airstrikes, dropping 47 bombs, and carried out 442 artillery shellings, with 10 of those being from MLRS systems. Yeah, that's funny. Ukrainian soldiers repelled 14 assault actions in this direction. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses on the occupation forces in manpower and equipment, and actively undermine the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. Goes into the losses for today. We'll do that with the graphic. And, of course, join the defense forces. Razom de Pereможemo, Slava Ukraina. I'm going to say a Russian tank after it's been hit by a drone because the middle's burned out. Oh, God, can't smile. Lips hurt. Let me grab the graphic from Discord. Total combat losses of the enemy as of February 20th, 2025, 1093rd day of the full-scale invasion. Today, Russian casualties increased 1,190 personnel, 14 tanks, 14 APVs, 63 artillery systems, 3 MLRSs, 6 anti-aircraft warfare systems. Those are the Buks and other things that, like the S-300s and such. Ukraine is working to keep up with the one a day. They're falling a little behind. They're only 15 units behind, but keep up numbers like that, and it's hard. Russia can't put the equipment out anymore. 160 UAVs, 136 vehicles. That is Russian combat losses for today. And a couple videos from Zelensky today. Heavenly 100. Heroes who died defending freedom, dignity, the right of our state to freely choose its future, self-sacrifice, reminding us of the price of self-determination. Eternal honor to the heroes of the Heavenly 100. Of course, if you know the history, you know what day it is with this video. I have that one saved on my channel, but I'll play it anyways. But before we go too much farther, I want to show you something here. We'll come into Cruciatic, Maiden Square. This is the memorial to the 100 along this wall here. Where they were at is here. Hotel Ukraine behind it. But there's another memorial in here that few people actually know about and go to. I wish I had pictures of it. But I just happened to visit it on a day that there was a wedding ceremony. And I didn't want to take a picture of somebody's wedding. But it's a cool place up here. You ever get the chance to go to Kyiv and you're in Kreshadek and checking out this square, yeah, everybody hangs out down here. You know, the flags are all throughout this area. You know, fountains right here where I talked with the guy that was all tattooed up about why he loves to be Ukraine and wants to stay Ukrainian, not Russian. But yeah, if you just walk up this hill and come back into here, it's a very, very nice place to check out and visit, and very few people go here. And you see in that video of how nice it actually is. Now, Zelensky had a meeting with Mr. Kellogg today.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I really can't understand what they're saying. I wish you could. But This man holds the U.S.'s future role in Ukraine support in his hand with this meeting. I hope it goes well. I hope it went well, I should say. According to Zelensky's staff, meeting with General Kellogg, good conversation, lots of deep details. Grateful to the United States for all the assistance and bipartisan support for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. It is important for us and for the entire free world that America's power is felt. We discussed in detail the situation on the battlefield and how to return all our prisoners, as well as effective security guarantees. Ukraine has been seeking peace from the first second of this war, and we can and must make peace reliable and lasting so that Russia can never return with war again. Ukraine is ready for a strong, truly beneficial agreement with the United States on investments and security. We have proposed the fastest, most constructive way to achieve a result. Our team is ready to work 24/7. Success unites. Everyone in the world needs success in relations with the United States. Thank you, General Kellogg, for working together to achieve important results. Encouraging words despite what's coming out of Trump's mouth. And, of course, Zelensky's speech for today.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Дуже довгий день сьогодні. Провів ставку, доповіді військових були, наші позиції на фронті, ситуація з постачанням, контракти, пакети зброї. Робота триває. Я дякую кожному з наших партнерів, які розуміють, що потрібні сильні позиції і на фронті, щоб захищати людей, і в дипломатії мають значення і сила, і правда. Доповіді були щодо діпстрайків по російських військових об'єктах і по інфраструктурі Росії, що обслуговує війну. На кожні 2 вкладених долари в нашу далекобійність ми отримуємо вже майже $10 російських збитків. Це потрібна динаміка. Росія повинна відчувати ціну війни, щоб дійсно хотіти миру. Окремо, сьогодні суттєві речі доповідав керівник служби зовнішньої розвідки. Сьогодні ж було багато нашої міжнародної роботи. Генерал Келлог, зустріч, яка відновлює надію, нам потрібні сильні угоди з Америкою, угоди, які справді спрацюють. Я доручив працювати швидко і дуже виважено. Економіка і безпека завжди мають йти поруч, і деталі угод мають значення. Чим краще прописані деталі, тим більше результат. Обговорили із генералом Келлогом фронт, необхідність звільнити всіх наших полонених, які утримуються в Росії, а також необхідність надійної і чіткої системи гарантій безпеки, щоб війна більше не повернулась і щоб росіяни не ламали життя. Мир потрібен всім нам – Україні, Європі, Америці, всім у світі. Говорив щойно з президентом Макроном. Ми скоординували наші позиції, ми обговорили подальші кроки, зокрема погляди на гарантії безпеки. Говорив з прем'єр-міністром Данії. І ми цінуємо, що Метте і народ Данії відчувають, чого ми прагнемо. Говорив з прем'єр-міністром Норвегії. І не тільки про наші двосторонні відносини, але й про майбутнє Європи, про енергетичну безпеку. Говорив з президентом Фінляндії. Є хороші, важливі пропозиції. Ми обмінялись нашими поглядами на розвиток ситуації. Говорив з прем'єр-міністром Канади. Поінформував про те, що відбувається зараз. Ми обговорили перспективи. Обговорили, зокрема, перспективи в G7. Говорив сьогодні з президентом Південно-Африканської Республіки. І я вдячний за підтримку нашого суверенітету і за позицію щодо того, що перемовний процес має бути інклюзивним. Мир – це завжди спільна справа і тим більше мир, який ми маємо залишити всім наступним поколінням. Я дякую всім за допомогу і за відчуття єдності, яка зараз так само важлива, як і в 22-му році. Я пишаюся нашими людьми, пишаюся всіма, хто б'ється, хто допомагає, хто вірить, що в війнах не має перемагати зло. І сьогоднішній день я почав зі вшанування пам'яті українців, які загинули 11 років тому. Вже 11 років. Герої Небесної Сотні, Герої Гідності, 11 років. Тому в цей день почались і перші загарбницькі кроки Росії щодо нашого Криму. Україна зробить все для завершення цієї війни, все необхідне. І нам потрібен достойний мир, гідний народу, який так сміливо захищає себе. Пишаюся вами, українці, і я бачу, як ви захищаєте правду. І це дуже важливо. Я дякую вам. Дякую за підтримку. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. So, as always, Zelensky keeping busy, meeting with prime ministers, Kellogg, everybody today, it seemed like. Guys definitely putting in a lot of work. And for most everybody's favorite part of the day, we move into the videos of the day. I'm trying to enlarge this, but it doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Before we go into that, though, more air raids have cleared off. Just the Dniprovsky region and Donetsk. So 3 hours in Donetsk, 1 hour 21 minutes in Dnipropetrovsky. Hopefully those will clear soon as well. And let's go into Telegram. 161 drones were launched at Ukraine from Russia today. Well, just last night. 80 were shot down. 78 failed to reach their targets. Unfortunately, 3 hit their targets. Even though drones are shot down, they still cause damage. Tonight, on the night of February 20th, the Russian occupiers carried out a combined strike with various types of air, ground, and sea-based missiles on critical infrastructure facilities in the Kharkiv region. 14 missiles were used. Cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, Iskanders, and so forth. Information on the results of combat operations and the consequences of the missile strike is not made public at this time. As a result of the enemy attack, Kharkiv, Sumy, Odessa, and Kyiv regions have suffered. In the Kherson region, an enemy-guided bomb partially destroyed the entrance to a high-rise building. There are casualties and rescue operations are ongoing. Give you an idea of how up close and personal this fighting has become? Well, here you go. Ukrainians standing up and firing. I'm going to pause this right here. In the first scene, the Russian was standing right here, literally within arm's reach of the position the Ukrainians were in. Russia has a new submarine. Cargo ship carrying 3,000 tons of corn sinks in the Sea of Azov. The ship was heading from Rostov to the Turkish city of Samsun. The cargo ship began to sink on February 16th. The crew did not send a distress signal, but only asked for permission to enter the port of Azov. This will only be possible after the water level rises, as the ship has already run aground. Here is the video from the Pavel whatever. These are the ships Russia is putting out on the ocean. Look at all that rust. Of course, grain washing over the side. And the water just pouring out of the side of the hull. Well, at least they can't drop anchors and cut communication cables anymore. Russians abandoned a group of North Korean troops in Kursk after they start taking casualties from Ukrainian artillery. Here's the video. Just needs some paint. Oh wait, that's sanctioned too. So in this little drainage area, farm field up at the top of the hill, forested drainage area. And Ukraine just starts pelting it with artillery. See you when you get back, Marshall. And that is Marks facing Ukrainian artillery. I forgot if this was in Kurtz as well. I think it is. It doesn't say where it is located, but Russia tried a ATV assault. Well, here's the results. So they try to push up with BMPs first. BMPs run away. So Russians try to come up forward with one more. Doesn't work out very well. And here comes the ATVs. They were trying to get to these trenches here. Artillery gets first crack. FPVs come in for round 2. You get to see the results of that assault. Some F-16s under Ukrainian skies. I love how they word this in Ukrainian. F-16 flies to reduce the population of raccoons. Just a couple pictures, but you see the blue and yellow circle on the wings. Ukrainian trident on the tail. Just nice seeing Ukrainian planes in the air after so long of domination of the air by Russia. The best way to deal with Russian communications is to blow them up. Get to see FPVs taking out the comms towers of the Russian Federation. Oh man. Sorry, I almost blacked out from that coughing fit. That would have been interesting. Got to see some Russian demining yesterday. Well, here's some more for you today. So, landmine.
Как футляр из-под очков, нахуй. Ага.
Oh, it's one way to demine an area. Special Forces clearing a tree line. I forgot where. Donetsk region doesn't say exactly where. SSO cleared the forest strip. SSO is the abbreviations for Special Forces in Ukraine. Eliminated the enemy, blew up fortifications. These actions allowed the brothers to fly in on a Humvee, clear all the buildings, and knock out the enemy infantry. Here is video from SSO. I think that was a little bit bigger than a grenade. There's video from SSO. To pay tribute to those who work in occupied areas to free Ukraine, a short film, Cyber Underground, dedicated to the resistant movement in the temporary occupied territories of Ukraine. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Let's bring victory closer together. Join the resistance movement of Ukrainian armed forces. And they give the link. Here's the video.
Поздравительный ролик на 8-ю годовщину формирования ССО. Демонстрирует навыки партизанской войны, собирает взрыв-пакеты и болторезом перекусывает высоковольтные провода на подстанциях.
Спасибо за апельсинчики вкусные, с косточками.
Робіть фреш.
Владимировна, апельсинчик.
Кісточка готова.
Комітет.
Что случилось? Кто разрешил? Тормози! П-493, тормози! Тормози ты!
Авария остановила железнодорожное сообщение через станцию Джанкой-1. Тушение пожара заняло более 3 суток.
По предварительным расследованиям выясняется, что допущено крушение грузового поезда наливного
A little tribute to those who are working behind the lines. And, another unsung profession of this war is the engineers working in the background. That was a mining charge dropped on the Russians advancing here. Then bridge layer coming out, dropping a bridge down. Ukrainian armor able to pass over the bridge. Now, all these videos are in my Telegram channel. To archive them, go to Telegram, and the link's in the description below. Ukrainians have designed a new ammo type for the drone drops. Sharp cartridges show a clear example of the operation of the new ammunition, only weighing 350 grams, just with over 700 fragments. After exploding a few meters from the enemy, it immediately knocks him down. Here is the video. You see the starburst in the snow from all the fragments. Well, Ukraine's getting ready, is perfecting the drone war at the moment. It's going to be an interesting one. A plastic factory, I forgot where. Plastic factory is on fire in Kaluga region. The fire is spreading. Here are the videos. Suka splat. And another angle. Yeah, but what's worse, the climate change or the wiping out of an entire group of people because they don't want to be Russian? You want to know what Russia really thinks of you and your country? Here we go, broken down for you.
European leaders murderers.
Дочь Дунков, ты еще увидишь, как из-за твоей продажной глупости Анна-Лена Бербок, Берлин будет гореть.
Надо как-то сделать так, чтобы американские солдаты начали гибнуть.
Да, мы сотрем в порошок Варшаву и Вильнюс.
Почему мы признаем Францию ее границей?
Как я хочу посмотреть, чтобы Урсулиха фон дер Ляля корчилась с куском беспилотника в глотке.
Когда на сегодняшний день мы говорим, что война будет безъядерной, мы, наверное, лукаем.
По количеству на душу населения, правда, Канада ее опережает, но Америка — это мировая держава по добру.
Have a good night, Mertzi.
Welcome back to Russian Hate Speech, where we break down the Kremlin's latest unhinged rants about the decaying West and Russia's supposed divine right to reshape Europe. Let's start with Russian political expert Nikolai Plotnikov, who paints a bleak picture of the situation in Europe.
Europe is dying. The European Union and European countries are led by losers, murderers, and maniacs.
Calling European leaders murderers and maniacs is a bold statement coming from a country that bombs residential buildings and abducts children. Next, we have Genry Sardaryan, who echoes the Russian propaganda narrative justifying the full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
We started the special military operation not to shift the border here and there. No, we said that we were not satisfied with the security system in Europe and wanted it to be different. If we expect this security system to be given to us by the Americans, they will take it back. We either secure it on the ground or we have no claim to it at all.
Russian officials usually pretend this war is about denazification or protecting Russian speakers. But Sardaryan lays it out plainly. Russia wants to reshape Europe's security architecture through brute force. And to top it all off, state propagandist Vladimir Solovyov returns to his favorite theme about Germany.
We should know this deep misconception of ours when we think that we liberated Europe from Nazism. We had a forced cleansing, but they cannot be cleansed of their essence. Nazism is their essence. That's why we see it now in Scholz and Baerbock. Of course, they are proud of their relatives, and it is indeed a major tragedy for them that they lost in the Great Patriotic War.
Russia's propaganda machine never tires of portraying the West as evil, Europe as doomed, and its own aggression as justified. Whether it's calling European leaders maniacs, openly admitting the war is about territorial control, or reviving Soviet-era myths about eternal Western Nazism. The message is clear. Russia sees itself as entitled to reshape the world by force. And as long as this imperial delusion persists, so will its threats and violence. Stay tuned for the next episode of Russian Hate Speech, where we continue exposing the Kremlin's war on reality.
Well, video from Center for Countering Disinformation. And I see this video popped up on Warriors Ukrainian. I gotta check it out. Footage of Russian soldiers using donkeys on the front line continues to keep showing up.
Да ладно, не надо. Давай. Вам тоже удачи. Тут не, у нас сами должны привезти, вот тоже бензин без воды, блядь, вот. Такая техника. Гужевая повозочка.
What century are we in? Just curious. Just curious. I had to get back up to where we were. I made you guys watch the Russian propaganda, so here's some good vibes.
Перемоги, за кожною з яких стоять український характер, дух і нескореність. Сила, яку не побороти, і воля, яку не зламати. 35 ветеранів і ветеранок наших воїнів цьогоріч змагалися на іграх нескорених у Канаді з 11 видів спорту. І знову довели, що українці сильніші за будь-які обставини і можуть все. Наша збірна здобула 32 медалі. Золотих, срібних, бронзових, однаково цінних і однаково важливих. Це 32 приводи для гордості і 32 причини для радості. Уся країна пишається вами, хлопці та дівчата. Дякуємо кожному і кожній за цей результат. Чекаємо вдома. Слава Україні!
That is video from the Invincible Games in Canada, where the Ukrainian team was represented by 35 veterans, our warriors. They competed in 12 sports and won 32 medals, 12 gold, 11 silver, and 9 bronze. This is the result of not only months of training and rehabilitation, but also of the Ukrainian character and spirit. Invincibility and strength are about you, about Ukrainians. I am proud of all of our boys and girls. Thank you so much for important victories. The raid on Odessa last night, among others. We already went over that at the beginning. I want to play this one again just because it's that's what it sounds like to be in Ukraine. I already played that on a different channel or different time. Bill Mitchell on apparently Twitter, what they're going to do to find is that Ukraine money was being laundered back to the DNC using hashtag ActBlue and ghost donors. I've been saying this for years, and it's finally being proven now. Some high-level Democrats and maybe neocon Republicans are going to prison for this. A significant percentage of the money, quote unquote, this is Elon Musk replying, a significant percentage of the money sent to Ukraine actually ended up benefiting U.S. politicians, the DNC, and some Republicans. That's why Zelensky says he's only received half the money. Interesting turnabout. It just... yeah, it's... I just thought it was interesting and worth bringing up. But here he's even admitting it, that yeah, Zelensky didn't get the money, so you can't blame him anymore for stealing the money that he never got, because AAR strikes fear in Russians, but is it from the drone or is it from their new trigger mechanism?
Лихослів'ям. Але йобана в рід. Це саме влучний момент порадити не просто інколи краще мовчати, а саме «Shut up, Mr. President». 4% – це не про президента Зеленського. 4% – це показник вашої особистої терпимості до українського народу, що кров'ю та життям бореться за свою свободу. Бабло понад усе, мазафака. Єднаймося, українці. Один у полі – воїн. З Курська нарізка в'йоб птахів Мадяра вам у стрічку. Помовчу, щоб більше не набазарити.
Изготовление шапочек из фольги – это не только интересное и творческое занятие, но и важный патриотический акт, символизирующий готовность защищать свою родину от внешних угроз. Пусть наша шапочка станет символом единства и стойкости перед лицом внешних вызовов.
Мы остались в Обжале. Остались в Обжале.
Надо точно их душить и долбить. Пошибек на оттуда добавляться, разберемся.
Помогите жильем, чтобы мы вернулись в свои дома.
На строительство наших сел и домов потребуется 5 лет. Мы остались в Обжале. Остались в Обжале.
Надо точно их душить и долбить. Пошибек на оттуда добавляться, разберемся.
Помогите, пожалуйста, нам с жильем. Нам негде жить.
На строительство наших сел и домов потребуется 5 лет.
Это война. И в этой войне...
Где война? Объявите войну! Где война?
Почему объявили границу?
Во-первых, я хотел бы видеть тех, кто является инициатором данной акции, поскольку это публичная, незаконная акция. Мы остались в Обжале. Остались в Обжале.
Надо точно их душить и долбить. Пошибек на оттуда добавляться, разберемся.
Помогите жильем, чтобы мы вернулись в свои дома.
На строительство наших сел и домов потребуется 5 лет. Мы остались в Обжале. Остались в Обжале.
Надо точно их душить и долбить. Пошибек на оттуда добавляться, разберемся.
Помогите, пожалуйста, нам с жильем. Нам негде жить.
На строительство наших сел и домов потребуется 5 лет.
Yeah, I don't think that had any lube on it. I'm sorry, I'm just having flashbacks to like Christmas time. They had the reindeer and elves and Christmas present triggers. Like Halloween, they had ghosts and other stuff. It's just hilarious. Guys from the 46th Brigade share a video from Zaporizhia.
Закинул, не? Давай, блядь! Быстрей! Быстрей! Сейчас, второй, быстрее! Быстрей! Все, давай, закрывай на ходу! Быстрее закрывай двери! Что такое там, турель?
Going in, blowing up the fortifications of the Russians in the tree lines, raiding the tree lines. A short video from 3rd Assault Brigade with some of the drone work they've been doing. Smoked out of their holes and taken prisoner, 3rd Assault Group continues to beat and capture Peters in the Kharkiv region. The group entered enemy positions through grenades and replenished the exchange fund. And we're back to what century are we in?
Да ладно, не надо. Давай. Вам тоже удачи. Тут... Не, у нас сами должны привезти. Вот тоже бензин без воды, блядь. Вот. Такая техника.
Having to use donkeys to pack supplies for your troops at the front line. Unfortunately, that is the last I have of videos. Except for Crimea and Luhansk, Ukraine is finally free of air alerts, finally free of the strikes. Hopefully they can sleep well for the rest of the morning. It is 6:30 a.m. in Ukraine at the moment, 10:30 here in South Dakota. Before I sign off for the night, I wanted to show off a couple things. Let me pull up OBS, go full cam, and of course, you guys have seen these, with the 3D printer. Let's see. There we go. Put it over. There we go. Spoon game. These little black ones, I added a clip to the back so you could pin it or, tie a string or ribbon to it to hang it, pin it to your clothes, whatever. And I'm also making these crosses. I am getting ready for a kind of a big fundraiser push for a personal project of mine. The lady that was helping me with the houses in Ukraine found a paying job, and I need to gather funds to hire a person to help me with that in Ukraine. So I'll get more details later, but I just wanted to show off what I've been doing, what I've been working on. Oh yeah, and these are from the 3D printer as well, the plastic part. Just because it's a pain in the butt to cut those little plastic square sheets. So I started printing them on the 3D printer, and it seems to work out okay. And where'd that one. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Oh, there it is. One of the other things I'm going to start working on is this is going to be my template for putting, I'm going to put the template of the trident onto the hearts. And I have my wood carving kit, and I'm going to carve out the Ukrainian tridents on the hearts, and the hearts are going to be part of the fundraiser as well. There's all a bunch of stuff coming together. Trying to do good and do what I can where I can, and give little tokens that aren't necessarily so expensive. Show my appreciation for supporting Ukraine and other things as well. So look forward to more of that in the future. Thank you everybody for coming to the stream. Hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot, gets the word out to other people. But more importantly, thank you for supporting Ukraine. With that said, have a good night. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Чайка